All right guys, so welcome to my home. This is where all the magic happens, where I eat my meals, where I've been prepping for the last few years. It's kind of like the barn, the cottage that Rocky trained in Rocky IV. I do hang from the rafters sometimes and do some pull-ups and some leg raises. But I'll show you guys around a little bit. Got some of my trophies here next to some liquor. Don't worry guys, I'm not drinking that on my own, it's for guests. But this was from my first Classic Physique Olympia where I placed second place, and there's a bunch of other trophies from some other shows that I did, and this was 2019 Legion Sports that I won. Over here I have a spin bike that I actually took from Bev's. I love doing my cardio on a spin bike. It allows me to increase intensity, and I just don't like walking on a treadmill too much. So this thing's a lifesaver. It's probably the only fitness equipment I've ever owned in my home, believe it or not. Never been a type of guy to have an in-home gym. And over here is one of my biggest passions. Before bodybuilding, I was really big into racing, and this was my track bike. I haven't ridden it. It hasn't even been started in years, but I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. I built this thing myself. It's a Honda RC51, but it's completely just gutted and rebuilt, customized from ground up. So I love this thing, and maybe I'll start it back up and get it on track. But it's really hard to do track days when you're always prepping. So like the motorcycle season overlaps with prepping season. So unfortunately, it's kind of taking a back seat. So this is my crib, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. All right guys, so this is meal one. I have 6 ounces of bison, some carrots, broccoli, and I got my berries here, blue and black, with some pink salt over it. And it's about 8 o'clock. Usually get this meal in about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I think everyone should have a daily greens on a daily basis. Most guys don't eat as much vegetables as I do, and I still have it. So especially for those of you that are lacking vegetables, I would definitely supplement with the daily greens. Ideally, I have the collagen in bone broth, but I ran out of it. So I'll heat up bone broth, and I'll put the collagen in there, and I'll have that on an empty stomach. It's great for the stomach lining and healing any stomach issues you have. And I have some glutamine here. All right guys, so this is meal 2 of the day, and it's my pre-workout meal. We have 90 grams of oats and 6 ounces of chicken breast with stevia, pink salt, and cinnamon. And yes, I'm eating it directly out of the pot. Just out of convenience, I always just ate it out of this, and it stays warm. Driving to my buddy's gym, Siege Athletic. It's like literally, what is it, a mile, 2 miles from my house, really close. I train here a couple days a week when I'm not at Bev's. It's an awesome gym. Gonna go hit some chest. My training lately has just been based on how I feel and what doesn't hurt, so. All right guys, so we got meal number 3 for the day here. It's my post-workout meal, nothing special, real basic. I got 200 grams of white rice, which is about 56 grams of carbs, 6 ounces of chicken breast, and some green beans. Usually I'll do either green beans or broccoli, sometimes some carrots. And sometimes I'll saute it, get a little bit crispy, trick myself into thinking I'm eating hibachi. But right now I just heat it up in the microwave. I have my pink salt, and I'll usually eat it plain, but I wanted to show you guys this veggie ketchup that I got. I'm a huge ketchup fan, but there's some unwanted sugar in ketchup. So I was eating no sugar added ketchup, but there's some sucralose in there and it's not the healthiest thing. So I found this stuff at Whole Food. It's basically made with vegetables, apple puree, vegetable puree, carrots, butternut squash, and it's pretty good. So I give this a try. So this is meal number 4 for the day. It's 200 grams of white rice, 6 ounces of chicken breast, a little bit of spinach and green beans. This is my last carb meal for the day, so the next 2 meals are just protein and fats. I actually added a little bit of lettuce to this because I'm really hungry, so. So a lot of people ask what I looked like before I started bodybuilding, how I progressed over the years. So I have pictures here from almost every year. Before I really got into bodybuilding, this is how it all started, martial arts. So I was a pretty serious practitioner of martial arts for about 16 years. So this picture, I think, was maybe about 14 years old, give or take. And I'd been working out a bit, but hadn't put on much muscle yet. So you guys can really get an idea for my structure and genetics. You know, they weren't anything too crazy. This is senior year in high school. Here I packed on a good amount of muscle. I think I gained maybe 30 pounds. Really, this is over like 3 years of training, playing football, bodybuilding. Here's my popular side tricep pose, looking a little bit weak. This was after high school, probably my early 20s, dieted down. And then there came a point in time where I said, you know what, I want to get a lot bigger. And I had an off season and put on a lot of size. So why am I saying this and showing you guys this is because so many young guys DM me asking me if I think they have what it takes. If I think that they can be a top Olympian. You know, if you asked a lot of bodybuilders if this kid could be a top Olympian, be on the Olympia stage, maybe they'd be nice and say, yeah, but I think most would think probably not, or I'm not sure, the guy doesn't look like anything special. But I didn't ask anybody, and I wasn't worried about that. I just knew that I love this shit, and I'm gonna put everything I have into it, and I'm gonna train my ass off, and that's what I did. All right, guys, so this is meal number 5, 6 ounces of chicken with a beautiful, healthy, festive salad, and a 1/4 cup of almonds on the side, and 2 extra ones for good luck. For the salad dressing, Dijon mustard from Whole Food. This is about 8-ounce container. This whole entire mustard is in here. 2 to 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar is added in there. The rest is filled up with water to the consistency you want, and a couple sprinkles of the stevia. All right, guys, so the last meal of the day for me, meal number 6, is my favorite meal of the day. It's protein pancake with some nut butter. It's approximately 9:30 p.m. I'll eat this and get to bed very soon. And I'll top that off with some sugar-free maple syrup, or you can use more protein powder, make a slurry with it with almond milk. And that is meal number 6 for me. All right, guys, and that concludes my full day of eating. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe below.